This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, Arn, getting back to the wrestling a little bit, before you made your jettison to the WWF, you and Arn would lose your titles to the Midnight Express. I'm sorry, yes, you and Tully, apologize. You and Tully would drop your titles to the Midnight Express. Isn't that right?
Yep. And you know what? That was a angle that was so well done by the company because they let Bobby and I do our thing, and we were best friends. And it became about my best friend wanting to take my money source.
Jim, it had to happen. Natural progression. Yeah. The two best teams in the world going at each other for the championship.
Number one and number two, we're just going to find out which is which. It's going to happen. The contract's been signed. Oh, JJ, come on. Did you happen to get that package of contracts I sent you? I know it's already been signed, and I just want to say I'm really looking forward to this, James.
Jimmy. Don't you think this has gone just a little bit too far?
No, I think it could go maybe just one step further just as soon as those belts are around the waist of the Midnight Express instead of Tully and Arn. Not that we want to break up any friendships, because once we beat you for the belts, we're such sportsmen, we'll still be friends with you, I promise.
JJ, let me cut you off here for a minute. Bobby, Stan, we've traveled together, we've partied together, we've shared everything, and I mean everything together. Listen, be satisfied with what you got. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. You don't need the World Tag Team titles.
Hey, what do you mean we don't need them? Let me tell you something. It's about time we got some big paydays too around here. I think we want a title shot. What about that? That's right, you don't need them. One thing being a world champion takes intelligence. It takes good looks. You have to be articulate because of the media coverage that you get. And you take about, you can't even talk. Look at this guy right here. You can't even have a working function of the United States. Let me tell you something, Tully Blanchard. You put your finger back in my face or on me, I'm going to make you eat it, you punk. You piece of garbage, you piece of trash. That's all you are. You piece of trash. You piece of junk.
You better watch yourself. And let me just tell you something, JJ. We beat everybody else except you. But it's hard to beat somebody when you ain't never had a match with them. You just remember that, friend.
And that is such an easy story to tell and such an easy story for the audience to grasp, especially because they knew we were very good friends. We were best friends. And that angle, when we popped it and we set it up for the first go around as far as matches, business took off. And business had been down a little bit at that point, and business took off. And some things happened behind the scenes with the office, and that Tully and I, even though we're in the middle of this incredible angle and making the most money we had made since we had been there, still, there's a time in this business you have to go, nope, not doing it. And this was one of those times, and for a number of reasons that had nothing to do with wrestling the Midnight Express, because that would have went on for probably 3-4 months and drawn a ton of money. But we decided that we needed to make a change, and I decided that I was going to have Bobby Eaton drop that leg on me from the top rope, and that was the way we're going to go out. And everyone agreed, and that's what we did. And we left a lot of money on the table and a lot of questions out of a lot of people that if you would have stayed, what if? Well, I've had that thought a time or two, but you do what you have to do at the time. And I left some good people behind, some good friends behind, and a good company behind. I did not want to leave, but we left. And one of the reasons I didn't want to leave is I didn't want to leave my friend.
Sure.
And that's Bobby Eaton. And I knew in those days, because WWF at that time was running so hard, and we were still running so hard, that our paths were not going to cross. And even though we still lived one street apart, that slowly went away, because they're just, you come home, you got 3 days off. One's a travel day, One's the day to have with your family. The next day is to repack, head out on the road again. It's not much of a life. Hard to justify going to the garage in those situations.
Arn, talk a little bit about how also it felt like the Midnight Express did not miss a beat, and I guess Bobby's impact of that when the move is made from Condrey to Stan Lane.
Dennis decided, for whatever his reasoning was, he decided he did not want to be part of that group anymore. Went off the radar. They brought in Stan. Now, it immediately took a different look. Stan was a handsome guy, had like a karate style to him, more smooth, more polished than Dennis. He wasn't the thug that Dennis Condrey was. All the girls loved him, which gave you a little bit of a different dichotomy, because you got the girls cheering for Stan. You got them booing Bobby and booing Cornette, and this is all within one group. Now, I think they became something different because of that, but they stayed in a position because Stan, did have such a great athletic look and had brought that different style to it. It was fun to watch because it was oil and water. It wasn't Bobby and Dennis blending. It was those guys almost clashing, but it still worked.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.